What happens if you take two drivers of similar pace, give one professional tuition and the other the latest in clanker technology? Well, nothing quite went to plan, but only one of them ended up with real pace when it mattered.
I tried using AI as a driver coach. Here's what happened.
When I race, it's called AI coaching, and the most prominent of which is Trophi AI, which analyzes your driving and gives real-time advice for faster lap times. But it's not cheap. From a non-sale price of $20 per month up to an eye-watering $1,300 per year, it's proper money for an app, even in the expensive world of sim racing, which is fine, or could be fine if it actually delivers. You know, there's endless good and bad people in this hobby that will happily take your money in exchange for the promise of lap time. So I think it deserves a Henry-style but unsponsored test. So here's the pitch. One driver will get one session with a professional coach, and the other will get as much time as they want with Trophi AI. But at the end of 2 weeks, they'll have to prove what they've learned by racing each other in a showdown at Mid-Ohio Circuit, a barely used but very technical track on iRacing. There'll be no information sharing or looking at each other's data, just purely relying on their coach. And then later in the video, I'll give Trophi AI a go myself to see where the value is for someone like me. I've got plenty to improve in my own driving, but at my I rating, I figured I'm probably not the target market. So I went out looking for test subjects, motivated, fast, clean drivers who are looking to improve. And I know exactly where to find them.
It's going to be almost full. It'll be white flag in the air.
This time around, here come the leaders. 3, 4, 5 wide. Turn number 1, trouble for Borowski, and they scatter. How they down, Masters chucks one to the inside. 3 wide. Train going all the way back to Felix Gripignano.
Quartered for the AM category.
Elijah White, Kachow, he's got the plate.
Goes Adikova.
How they down, Matt Hedel. So Adnan Rosdanic.
So yes, I'm doing this inside a real championship called MX5 United. It's a free-to-enter championship with real prizes for both Pro and AM categories. So after a few nervous DMs to the AM drivers, I landed on the two guys that were the championship protagonists at the midway point of the season, Adrien
Bonjour.
and Jake.
Hello.
And for our human coach, I convinced my teammate Dario to do it for two very important reasons. Number one, he already coaches hundreds of drivers over at whynotp1.com, has literally won in every car, and I kid you not, does thousands of races a year. But number two, Swallow Amida blocked me. Okay, so now I just needed Dario to pick between Adrien and Jake, so I called him up on Discord to review their last round at VIR. I hate this so much.
Oh!
Yeah.
A recording just appeared. You just do it.
I just clicked. Yeah, probably that not being read at the bottom should have been a... Okay, I'm an idiot. Let's try this again. This is Adrien Logneau, a driver who doesn't really like to practice.
So he didn't settle up.
He couldn't settle up. He clearly rushed out the pits late and then spun and then gave up.
Right. So he's just playing this championship in hard mode.
But what he lacks in preparation, he makes up for with natural pace and car control, which brings him close but just off the back of the main pack.
Yeah, it's just about managing to stay in the slipstream, it's holding the same gap.
And his other weapon, unless...
Where's everybody going? But wait!
Luck.
And you see that Braden Hope, no, Adrien Louineau, an incident at the end of the race, and Adrien Louineau not only wins the amateurs, he's in P10. He is in P10 and he will get pole position. For the first time this season, an amateur driver is going to get pole position.
But with great highs also comes anxiety.
Well, I mean, he's still defending the inside.
Yeah.
That's good. Does he overshoot? No. Well done. Oh.
Absolute shambles, but he doesn't defend.
I mean, what do you defend here?
No.
Right? I'm thinking, hang on, I know I don't have the pace to stay with these guys.
Yeah.
But if I let this other car go, they're fast, so I can try to stick with them.
Yeah.
But then he's also making a few more mistakes, and it's just so easy to be overtaken by everyone. Oh, I don't think he has looked forward for more than 5 seconds in a row since the start of the race.
Right. So what about Jake?
Well, Jake's approach to racing is the complete opposite. This guy does hours of practice before and after every round, figuring out how he can be better. This means that he's often leading the AM class in qualifying or on strategy and endurance races, and is always making very confident moves early on in the race.
Ready. Big mover though, Jake Ratcliffe.
And this is why he's easily the favourite for the championship. He just misses those last few attempts, and it's usually through overdriving. But this hasn't stopped him consistently mixing it with the pro class drivers, for better or for worse.
Oh no, the championship is over.
The pendulum swings. Oh
The
god.
pendulum swings.
The pendulum has swung. This crash has sent him to the back of the pack for the feature race. However, while Adrien was dropping back, Jake was making his way through the field to eventually pass and beat Adrien. These points would be crucial for the championship, but momentum had clearly swung back in Jake's favour. So, you've seen Jake, you've seen Adrien.
Yes.
Who would you like to coach? Okay, while Dario's choosing who to coach, I want to tell you about my spotter pack. It's available on my Patreon that I've just set up now, and it's a key way that you can help support the channel and help me try to speed up the production of these videos.
Careful, left
In
side.
return, you'll get my voice in your ear while you race.
Clear left.
But this is just a start, and I've got so many ideas, just not quite the time or resources to do them right now. But anyway, that's enough from me. Let's get back to the coaching.
I have tried, but the car said no.
You're not eating until you've done a 0.5, okay?
Oh fuck.
1.5 seconds is a huge gap to close. So they started off by looking at Adrien's baseline in Garage 61, talking about things like the line,
I am starting to turn right here.
and unraveling some bad habits.
Driving wise, there is one thing that you do that you're starting to move away from the edge of the track before you actually start to turn into the corner. Like everybody does this at some point.
Then they got on track and started putting this into practice, which went well,
I think it was a 35 already. Nice. Oh god.
and sometimes not so well.
Kind of rule of thumb. Do you know what rule of thumb is?
Not at all.
Anyway, let's leave them to it and see how me and Jake were getting on with our new app. Jake was quietly confident, having already set 35.9 in practice, but it wasn't long before we hit our first roadblock. Actually, 2 roadblocks. First, I completely failed to record any audio whatsoever from our first session, and second, the fastest lap the AI thought was possible was basically a 35.8 anyway. So how's it supposed to teach him to go faster if the reference lap isn't? While Trophi does pull data from Garage 61, it only sees times from other Trophi users, meaning that you miss out on a lot of fast laps from other drivers who aren't on the app, and I couldn't find a way to import them. So Jake decided that since his time was already so close to the app's limit, he'd just let the AI use his 35.9 as the reference, something that Jamie Broadbent did in his video. But my problem with that is,
If you only do what you can do, you will never be more than you are now.
so eventually I just decided to get on track with Trophi AI myself and set a 135 free for Jake to chase. But since I'm already in the car, let's leave our drivers to train and talk a bit more about this AI app. Welcome to The Bend, a new track which I have never driven. It has 35 corners and, unlike the Nürburgring, very few landmarks to help you orientate yourself while you're driving. It's mostly just grass. So I felt this would be the perfect place for me to try and understand the value proposition of Trophi AI and dive into how it works and how it might be improved. Editing/rig Henry here. This is where the video changes a bit. Sorry. Okay, look, the last thing I wanted this video to be was a hit piece on the AI. It doesn't look great on me or the months I put into setting up this kind of showdown around a real championship. And you can tell from the start of this video that this is not what I expected to find. However, when I finally sat down to explore this product, the mask began to slip.
What am I?
The Bend is a super complicated and long track, right? So Trophi AI should be able to help me, by showing me around it. It should have that data. If I type into Google Gemini, hey, can you briefly talk me through every corner on the Bend racetrack? It's gonna break it down into parts and talk me through every damn corner. So what does Trophi AI do?
I'm Mansell.
I get a very last gen sounding intro and then literally nothing. Like nothing. So I restarted everything, started again, made sure I was in track acclimatization mode, everything turned up to maximum, and this is the lap. And then I was like, okay, well maybe I set it up wrong, but no.
Approaching turn 6, a tight left hairpin. Brake hard before the turn, using full brake pressure, and shift down to second gear.
Okay, it's turn 6 and we finally got our first bit of coaching. But now we're back on our own, I guess.
You're approaching turn 9, a tight left hairpin. Enter from the right and apply a hard brake. Watch your exit for improved traction.
Okay. I have no idea where I'm going. I'm just relying completely on the minimap.
We're approaching the final corner, a right tightening corner. Enter from the left middle and apply medium braking. Watch your speed as it tightens on exit.
Are you sure? I could swear I'm in the middle of some kind of Mickey Mouse section halfway around the track. Look, I know it's not the end of the world. How often do you need to be talked around a new track? But this was making me worried for the entire experiment, so I quickly put it in coaching mode and found out that Trophi AI really cares about
Tire wear. Eye wear on the tires. Manage tire wear, that excess tire wear. Watch your exit for any lingering understeer. Tire wear. To avoid tire wear. Keep pushing to avoid excessive tire stress. To avoid excessive tire wear. Keeping your pressure smooth to avoid excessive tire wear. Watch for the turn tightening as you exit.
You've got wheel damage.
For turn 25, great job maintaining gear and throttle, but you braked significantly too hard, which can cause high tire wear, and you were about 40 kilometers per hour slower than ideal.
So I noticed this kind of pattern with Trophi, where it says, for the next X, do Y to achieve Z. Y is the input change that sounds precise, and Z, as far as I can tell, is just made up. The thing is when it sticks to X and Y in track coach mode, it's right. But for me, I find these instructions so hard to action, because it doesn't talk like...
That is something that happens because you slow down too much, so your brain is like, okay, I'm slow now, I have to get on the power. If you slow down less, so you know, brake slightly later, it sets you up so that you don't do that.
It talks like...
For the next right-hander, increase brake pressure by 30%. On the next right turn 6, increase apex speed by 30 kilometers per hour.
And it's saying all of this to you at a time when you're least capable of questioning it while you're driving. Because if you do, like when you look at the AI telemetry analysis feature that it has, something just feels a little off. And this is why Jake really struggled with Trophi AI. Not because he wasn't trying, but because the advice kept on putting him in this weird mental loop.
It'll just say, try to work on your trail braking into the next corner. Work on it how? It'll say brake later, but like you can't just brake later, because then all I'm going to do is over slow to try and hit my usual apex and maintain the same line on exit.
So for the entire first session, he never improved past that 35.9. He would tell me that brake later on its own isn't coaching, because braking later changes everything else. It didn't meet him on his level and would never explain the wider context of bad habits, his skill based on his I rating or lap times, or common mistakes. All things that Dario was addressing in his coaching, working with Adrien for moments like these.
What? Oh my god, what is this lap? Nice. Oh, hang on, I need to tell Henry.
However, Jake did find uses for some of the app's features, and that using Trophi gave him a better understanding of what his inputs actually were compared to others, instead of just doing laps. And across the training and hundreds of laps with Trophi, he found some significant improvement. But as everyone who reviews Trophi says, I'm not sure if it was down to the AI or just me.
United. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're watching from around the world here on the Global SimRacing Channel.
So now it's time for the showdown. after a combined 12 hours of practice, who can put down the fastest quali lap.
Well, Adrien Luno here with us now. And Adrien, you've had a bit of time to let this one sink in for you on what has been a season where you and Jake have been going at it pretty much nose to tail the entire season long. A day like this, a best result of the season for you, you couldn't have asked for much better. What was the tipping point for you in this season that set you on track for the Amateur Championship?
Probably the last race. I got a bit of coaching with Dario, and then for no reason I was way quicker.
The last couple of races weren't exactly spectacular to watch, but throughout them, Adrien was clearly the faster driver.
Luno leads outright.
Though both of them made proper gains across the entire experiment. So a huge thank you to them for their effort and enthusiasm, to Dario for being a fantastic coach, and Fraga for making incredible artwork. The takeaway for me isn't AI bad, it's that coaching kinda lives and dies on the context. A context that the AI could never quite join the dots on. And that's why it was a little disappointing to me. It's a brilliant idea and I really like the UI and mini games, etc. But MansellAI himself still feels very first gen ChatGPT despite shoving ads down my throat since 2024. And the update history doesn't exactly fill me with confidence either. 90% of this is Rocket League. Finally, that Force Studios page, I really don't like it. It reads like a pitch to get players addicted. If you're still with me on this video, open up that page and just have a read through. It's not great. I mean, in my opinion. And lastly, I will continue to use Trophi AI because after my free trial ended, I got charged for the entire year. I don't know if that's my fault and I clicked the wrong button or if it just automatically charges you for the whole year. I don't know. Anyway, that's the video. This one was a bit different. I look forward to an easier and simpler video next time. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.